I'll show you how to update those. They're very easy. It's just some yes/no questions. So
search here. Search here.
Yeah, so that looks like the kind of the default search.
Right.
The one on the left is that's what you want to make sure you go to.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if this is what we intended for production to be.
Yeah. No, it was. We removed a lot of the stuff we just don't use, like specialization, concentration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good. That's good.
Yeah, we want to keep the 504 version.
Okay. So, yeah, so the header stuff here, undergraduate. So I think this all looks good.
Yeah, we also modified that to remove classification since we don't use it.
Okay, good, good.
We did also add, I don't know why we're not seeing it. Is it because we flipped something? Or with CPOS, I know we added their CPOS status, but maybe it's because she didn't have CPOS run on her because she wasn't enrolled. That's probably what it was. Because there was messaging up in the header that indicated the course is not counted or something like that.
You have a band 80 variable up there, I would assume.
Okay, you guys are over my head right now.
I'm trying to, so try my G number, 704-680.
704.
680.
I'm a good guinea pig because I'm taking calculus for fun. Well,
so you're masking, looks like you're masking the ID and your 505 there. It looks like your 505 is just plain vanilla right out of the box, no change.
Yeah, and that's why I just don't remember if we, oh, see, there it is, we did. So the one mistake we made is we should have just gone ahead and made the CPOS changes in 504, unless there was some new stuff on 505 that wasn't on 504. So, okay.
Yeah, you'll need to go ahead and move. You could go ahead and put that in your production even now before your upgrade.
Yeah, so we need to add the CPOS header. And you said it was band 80, Dennis?
Yeah, it's a band 80 record that got created, looks like.
Band 80 and header.
080, yeah.
Okay.
Can you go ahead and go down, Jeff? Let's go to the kind of the bottom there. And they'll have, if you have those, okay, so.
Yeah, we renamed some.
Electives, yeah, you may have renamed it.
We did.
So go over to worksheets. I'm sorry, go to the right side, yeah.
Yeah, see, we changed that on the 505.
Yeah.
We did elective credit excluded, and then we did included, I believe, are the two.
Not the band 80. That's the CPOS classes that are not.
Right. No, but is that you like band 80? Do you remember off the top of your head which one that one
No.
is?
Okay. Well, so two things. One, it's a setting in the configuration tables RPT 36 that you have to do, and then also we need to change the title in Composer. And Jeff, you might as well put Web 31, RPT 36, and then inside there it's Web 31, and then also Composer.
Okay.
By the way, we'll have to do that. We'll have to make an edit in Composer for your band 80 variable as well. Yeah. So this looks like you've done some work in test and some in prod.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So it is going to be I would try to get them both the same. And that's going to mean making some changes in both, actually. So the CPOS stuff, all that needs to be put into production. There's no reason, even if, and I don't know if you have CPOS working in production or not now.
We have it all set up, but it's not enabled.
And that's fine. So you could still put what he's got there, RPT 36 and Composer. You could go ahead and do that in production. If you're not going to see it because students don't have that out there right now.
And the included excluded is still helpful regardless. If that was in place, I think it's good to tell students that whether or not it deals with funding, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
so so you probably want it pre-registered. I think
we didn't modify that, so I think that might have been a change from 504 to 505.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll just wait and see.
Okay.
All right.
Go to what if is the next one that you may see some changes. Okay, so we
got in progress, and I think that's 505.
Okay, so you've turned off those flags in production, looks like.
Yeah.
And so it looks like we need to remove.
Yeah, areas of study. needs to be modified to just
It's
be a
like
major.
program comes first and not degree. The one on the left is the one you want, Melanie, right?
In this case, having the degree first and then the program would be fine. That's not an
Oh, okay.
issue. But the area of study, it would be nice to simplify that like we did in 504.
Okay.
Because right now they're having just like 3 different ones that are just confusing to students. So
Okay.
simplifying
Yeah.
it to just the major makes so much more sense.
Okay. Remove college from there, and okay. Yeah.
So it appears that the one in Pride right now looks good, right?
Some minor modifications, Jeff, there
Okay.
as far as area of study.
Okay. So the what if was
It's just
I
the
mean,
area of study college.
okay. So back to academic. Take a look at the diagnostics. That should be the same.
Yeah, we didn't make any mods there.
They've
Yeah.
already-
No, there shouldn't be any changes on any of those.
Okay.
And maybe SCP, if you guys are using SCP yet.
SEP, Student Education Plan. The plan.
Oh, yeah. Good point. So we have a little bit of adjustments on the headers here.
It's the same header.
It'll be the same. Yeah.
And again, we have the C+
Yeah.
plan.
No, but Jeff, you don't have to. That's carrying over from the front page.
Okay.
It's not an additional mod.
This is a common header.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't involved in any changes to the plan to the SEP from 504 to 505.
Kind of a cosmetic.
We had them play with it and test. We had the counselors build plans, and their feedback was positive.
So they did improve some things in the planner. Nothing that you can really see. It's going to look the same, but I think you guys were one of the ones that found that problem with the active classes. I mean, the inactive classes not showing, or they were still showing up. Like if you pull down administration of justice, it would include all the inactive classes fixed now. So that's one good thing. This was on the one on the left, the 504. It just seemed to be kind of flaky, and they've tightened up the planner quite a bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we need to check that after the upgrade.
And we'll just do what we did before and have Trini and a couple counselors go in and build some plans and let us know if it works as expected.
Yeah, so when it upgrades your production, there should be no cosmetic changes. Like all these things that we're pointing out, Melody, they should stay the same in 505.
Awesome.
The difference, the reason why they look different between the two systems is just because in your test system you haven't made the upgrades, not the upgrades, but the mods that we did for your production. So
except for CPOS.
Yeah. And we could do that right now. I mean, it won't take a minute to put those in. So
Okay. Do we want to do that or just keep going through and just checking things first?
there's not much else to check.
Okay.
Your search, what if, and your planner, those are about that's about it. You can't modify any of the other, like the diagnostics report or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
That should be this, so that what if looks just like the what if from your regular what if page. That's good.
The only other thing is I can remember is, and then we can look at this later, the nightly export, the student or the banner extract student.
Mm-hmm.
We have put that into the controller, and so it pulls.
Yeah, that's a big change with 505. It's in controller now that your advisor SQL and your student SQL.
Oh,
so you can access them in controller now. One thing you might want to think about is, I don't remember if we set yours up if they use the old script, which is banner extract, like banner extract student, or if we use the launch job. And launch job is the new version. And what the advantage of doing launch job is that the output files land in transit now. So Melody could go out and look at the nightly output files if she wants to. With the banner extract, you had to go into PuTTY or into the system to look at the nightly files. So And Jeff, that's probably something you're not really interested in doing, but Melody might be. She might be interested in seeing that, not every day, but, every so often to take a look at it and make sure the RAD 30s are working correctly.
Right. And are there error logs in there as well? Are there error logs that are recorded?
There's not really an error log, but you'll see the error right in the RAD 30 output itself.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the reason, and they're recommending now going to the launch job. It didn't work real well with 504, and I don't think we tried it with you guys. I know some other clients we did, and it just didn't work well. But I've been doing it with all the 505 folks, and it's working real well. So.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it, Jeff.
Yeah, she's going to get gray hair like me.
Or none like us. So Jeff, if you want to send me, your current nightly cron job that you have, I could edit it for you and send it back to you with the launch job stuff. You do have to create these jobs. They're JSON files, but I'll send you. You can just use what I send you because it's just it's real generic.
JSON is something we need to just start absorbing, Jeff. Team Dynamics uses JSON too. It's the way of the future. No.
I know, and it was not. It was like I said, with prior to 505, it was not working well, and it was kind of a 4-letter word. But
I'm not a big fan of JSON just because you can't add comments and stuff to it like you would another code. It's very limited, but it's popular with APIs. So
yeah, I just don't know a whole lot about it, and I've had a hard time finding like what should the parameters be and everything. But
yeah, one other thing is I'm thinking of. I haven't talked to Melody about this yet.
Oh man,
she thinks, but to give access, to give the counselors access to the web transit, so that they log in, and then they can pull students over.
Well, you could give them just RAD 30 access if you want, and that's all they have access to.
Okay.
I would create it as a separate permissions where we could give it to our coordinators, right? Like Sergio, like Trini, the leads over the various counseling programs versus every counselor. I like that idea better. Just from a training perspective, maintaining that knowledge.
Yeah, so you could create a group. Right now there's a group called Tran. There's two. One's called Tran BAT, one's called Tran Reg. You could create like a Tran ADV and just give them RAD 30 or maybe even like DAP 22. Those are really the ones that they would need and nothing else.
Okay. So I will look at that later, but I just wanted to do a quick chat. Okay.
Do you want to write down those two that he mentioned, Jeff? Because you said RAD 30 and what was the other one? 22?
DAP 22, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the generate audits.
Oh, okay. Generate audit.
And I don't know if they would use that as much as, well, and that's another fix in 505. If you think about it on your nightly extracts, it calls a RAD 30, and then if the student does get extracted, it'll do a DAP 22 right away on the student as well. In your current 504 version, you don't see the output for 504 for the DAP. You just see the RAD 30. Now on 505, you see both outputs, and actually for your users, the DAP 22 output is really more helpful because it tells you if the audit was created and what % they're complete and everything like that. So.
Okay. So anything else you can think of that?
Yeah, there's one thing to make sure of when you go to the CPOS, Jeff, and when you get that put in, you need to make sure that the banner has granted that access that you need. I don't know if you remember when Crispino was working with you guys, when you guys put in that CPOS ban 80 variable, he probably asked you to grant the select access in banner for that CPOS table, which is that SFA SCRE table.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you do that in production. I see that trip up people all the time.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember what that variable was, though? I mean, because there was somewhere we did go in and give permission to that user. That right, it wasn't it treated kind of like a user, the API.
Yeah. There's a DegreeWorks banner user, right? Probably with a name DW user or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm pretty sure it's in 505 because all the CPOS modifications we made were in 505, not 504. So it's probably already configured, but it's good to check it.
You already have it in test. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to, or you wouldn't be getting that.
Beautiful.
But a lot of schools will not, when they're doing CPOS and tests, then they turn it on in prod and they forget to give that select grant to that table.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So really the CPOS is the main thing you would have to add to production. And I think you'll be good with your upgrade then.
To make these changes, where is that done? Or do we, you know?
Everything is in controller, except the titles. That's in composer. So all the things that you need to change will be in controller, except if you change the script at the nightly script. That's in.
Yeah. Yeah. The nightly script, we'll take a look at that. So maybe we can just go ahead and do a couple of these if you got time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're gonna, if you'll open up controller in both test and prod.
I think
So the search ones are the easiest ones. So if you just type in search on both sides and hit return, and go ahead and do the same on for test there. Yeah. So what's tricky is most of your changes are going to have to be in test, except for CPOS. One thing to notice here in test, you've got all those CST, like you have dash search custom.cst 001,
Yeah,
and that doesn't exist in production, doesn't exist in 504. What those are is now you can, and I don't remember if you guys in your classic dashboard had some custom search items, like some schools will have like search on academic standing or athletics. Or
we were vanilla.
Y'all are vanilla. Okay. So you weren't able to do that in 504, but now they've added that functionality here in 505. So that's what all those are. But so you guys on your search, you're doing degree, academic, let's see, academic year and major. So everything you want to turn off. So so like college, let's see that one right there where you're on the right hand. So you see how that's turned off there in production. You want to do that in test. Just, make that false.
Oh, so make it false in test?
Yeah. And then
I do have a random question at some point when it comes to GPA. As you know, Dennis, GPA and DegreeWorks, they don't get along super well. But I have received the question about if we can pull in the GPA. From what I can tell, you only have the one value, which we're pulling in the overall. But they also would like the degree applicable, not the DegreeWorks calculated degree applicable, but our own calculated degree applicable.
So like just internal,
so because we have 3 GPAs calculated for one of our custom, their SIOS profile is what we call it, that value, and reflecting that in DegreeWorks, so they match. The problem is DegreeWorks, when it calculates it itself, it doesn't always do it right. And someone wants to write a rule against the degree applicable GPA, and it's not working the way it should. And so right now I just have the rule turned off because I don't know how to fix it. But
is it that GPA you said you calculated in Banner?
We do.
Do you save it anywhere in Banner?
Do we have it saved in Banner, Jeff, or is that outside of Banner, the SIOS profile GPAs?
I think it's calculated.
Yeah, I think it's calculated too. So it's not in Banner, it's just on the SIOS profile report.
Right. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I don't think it gets saved.
It doesn't get fed back into the SIS.
Probably not going to be able to display it then.
But if we feed it back into the SIS somewhere, we could? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Something to think
if you
about.
put it in Banner somewhere, you could, there's that Charlotte GPA table, or you could store it anywhere, even in a
Charlotte GPA. Are you sure we don't store it in Charlotte GPA, Jeff? I bet we do. Something to look at. But anyways, just know that's something, Jeff, that's 3 or 4 months old now, and I just told him the rule, as far as I know, reserved words, all I can use is the SIS GPA reserve word, which you are using overall, and so there you have it. I don't have a way to change it to degree applicable GPA if you don't want to use the DegreeWorks one. So I basically said I can't do it. I turned it off, but they would love to have it back and working the way they want it. Just separate.
Yeah, you could do that in the classic dashboard. You could calculate stuff like that. I don't think you could scribe against it though.
Yeah, the scribe is limited. It was literally just one reserve word. It was SIS GPA. And so I said, well, what if I could change the SIS GPA from overall to degree applicable? But then they started arguing over, well, we want both. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I want to have my cake and eat it too, but sometimes we just can't.
So Jeff, you're going to have to go through level, all the other ones, and just turn them all to false, just like you just did.
Okay.
And you'll see it. It'll get reflected once you log off and log back in. There's one. Change this real quick, Jeff. In 505 right there. Go back to controller on both of them. Okay, you see that it's kind of down and right in the middle of your screen. Dash. No, it's down a little bit further. Dash search and that student mask. Okay, click on that one. It should be 0. So on the right, we need to find that one. It'll be down. Yeah, it'll probably be on another page there. And right there. And so make that 0. That's where right now you're seeing those asterisks and a student ID number.
Right.
This will make it.
Masked Melody or the G number. I thought our decision was to not mask it, right?
Right. We did not have it masked in production.
Okay. So we want it to not be masked.
Right.
Okay. Just want to make sure. That's what I thought too. Okay.
I looked away for a second. You set that to 0.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I set that to 0.
But then it's just a matter of going through all those other ones, Jeff. Yeah, like the degrees, right there on the right, the degree source, level, liberal learning. And you don't have to keep jumping back in production. I can tell you they're all false because you didn't see them. So.
Right. Okay.
Oh, we don't. We totally have a place where we could put that GPA, Jeff. SOA GPAT. We can add all sorts of GPAs here if we want to in Banner. So we could feed it back in if we wanted to. No, he was just saying, and then that way we can bring that into DegreeWorks and reflect it like they want. But I know we have enough projects. I know. I'll just tell them no.
And that's part of scribing, or is it?
No, that's feeding South's profile, the output of the GPAs into Banner.
Oh, okay.
Into the GPA the table that they've set aside for custom GPAs. There is a place for them.
All right. So I think we've identified some things.
For sure.
And so I think we're in pretty good shape, actually.
We need to make or justify the rationale for keeping classic if the rationale is still there. I just don't see it with the changes made in 505.
Yeah.
It's getting fewer and fewer people that have classic. It's almost an anomaly to see the classic now.
So ugly.
Oh, really?
But we don't have a sunset date on that, right? They're still letting us keep both.
No,
Okay.
no. And I don't know if you guys heard, but the new version's coming out September 17th, I believe. But I didn't see anything about getting rid of classic in it yet.
Okay. Well, enjoy your trip.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.